Hey, folks, how we doing? Ron. As you can see, I'm wearing my tinfoil hat because these days that's exactly what we are considered to be wearing. So, with everything that's going on, I guess it's time to play the part, right? So, everything that's happened for the last 2 years, it's just you guys are conspiracy nuts. You're conspiracy freaks. Oh, you're election deniers. Oh my God. Yeah, well, I don't think I need this anymore. So, all fun. Let's get down to it. Look, I'm at home, and as we all know, I had to turn around when we got out to Illinois and come back here. I've got some things I'm doing with the VA and to work on my shoulder. But are we falling apart in this country or what? Let's be real. There is stuff that when I get up in the morning and I look at my screen, I just shaking my head, saying maybe I do need to start wearing this. The amount of crap that's just being pumped down everyone's throats in the United States today and all over the world is it's just that. I mean, look at this. I'm not even going to show you. I'm just going to tell you. Kardashian. Look at what the youngest one did with her perfume. She put out the most evil, satanic, blood soaking, long nails perfume commercial? Really? It's evil. We are being overrun by it. We are being run by evil. We are being overwhelmed by these so-called um, good people. I guess I don't know. We got our drag performances in front of our children. We have got an admiral, which, oh, by the way, is in. I don't even know how. Maybe I should just start going by general because that's pretty much how it happens. That is in charge of mental health for our country. And this admiral is a trans woman for like 40 years or something like that. But you know what? In charge of our mental health, even though this trans biological man that identifies as a woman is a self-proclaimed lesbian. Let that sink in. Has two children, and she has had with her wife. Again, let that sink in for just a minute. It's a biological male that doesn't sleep with other males, is married or was married to a biological female, but identifies as a woman, is in charge of our country's mental health. Please. Are you serious? Election deniers. Well, gotta love cat turd. Created a new term. Election interference deniers is what they are. Come on, we've seen it. And this gets down to what it is that I wanted to talk about today's. In order for us to make change in this country, people have got to get pissed off. I'm pissed off. I just can't believe how many people are not pissed off, or they're pissed off and they don't want to do anything, or they think somebody else is going to do it for them. And really, Katie Hobbs, the Secretary of State of Arizona. Now, in case you don't understand this, the Secretary of State is in charge of running the state's elections. and she was running for governor and failed to recuse herself, refused to recuse herself when asked multiple times by Carrie Lake and her team to recuse herself from Secretary of State. She refused to do so. So last night, she actually certified her own election. Really? Seriously? Secretary of State of Arizona running for governor now certifies her own damn election. And not only that, she actually threatened other county supervisors or county supervisors throughout the state, Mojave being one of them. You will certify that county or you're going to spend time in jail. Hey, my fellow Americans, welcome to the Banana Republic. That's exactly what it is. Now, I left my home here February 21st of this year, and I drove my truck down to Adelanto, California. I joined the People's Convoy, of which I am proud of. We drove across the United States. We wound up in Hagerstown. I wound up on Capitol Hill as part of a delegation that went to see senators, spoke with senators, members of the House. And then after that, I come back. I start a walk to go across the country to think I'm going to build a parade of people to go across the United States and to prove once and for all who it is that they, put them in kill boxes, work for. And I can't get people to get off their ass. So I've come back and set up. Time to take gloves off. If you're not pissed off over what's going on in this country, this banana republic that it's being turned into, the election interference, you want to, I'll wear that label. I wore deplorable. I wore chump, that I'm a chump. I'm a deplorable. I wore that for a while. Why not wear election denier right along with it? Put it as a badge of honor. But trust me, there are some sick, demonic individuals with mental disabilities running this country. It's a joke. If you can't see that they're put there on purpose by a bigger financial power, Klaus Schwab, ring a bell, then you're blind. This is part of the demoralizing event to bring us down. And it's time. It's time for people to get super pissed. It's time for people to start coming out and doing what other countries are doing. Look at Brazil. Look at Germany. Look at France. The people have had enough. Look at Canada, right to our north. What are you doing? Americans were just fat, dumb, and happy. Ah, someone else will fix it. Someone else will fix this problem. Well, enter stage left. Again, if you were on Twitter and you got knocked off, you're one of these people. Yeah. Well, thanks to the richest man in the world, he brought us the Twitter files with Matt Taibbi. If you haven't heard about this, I think I'll take this right now and put it up into the comments here. Check it out. The Twitter files brought to you by one Elon Musk via Matt Taibbi with an explanation. This was drop number 1. Of course, the left would have you believing that we're still wearing that tinfoil hat. Look at this. This was 40 tweets within this thread that I've just given you the link to. And we've been waiting for another dump. There's some pretty big names named in here, including one James Baker, Jim Baker, who it turns out that the reason that we have not seen any more dumps as of late is because I'll show you. This came out 2 hours ago, people. On Friday, the first installment of Twitter Files was published here. We expected, to publish more over the weekend. Many wondered why there was a delay. We can now tell you part of the reason. On Tuesday, Twitter Deputy General Counsel, a former FBI General Counsel, Jim Baker, was fired. Among the reasons, vetting the first batch of Twitter files without knowledge of the new management. The process for producing the Twitter files involved delivery to 2 journalists, Barry Weiss and me, via a lawyer close to the new management. However, after the initial batch, things became complicated. Over the weekend, while we both dealt with obstacles to new searches, it was Barry Weiss who discovered that the person in charge of releasing files was someone named Jim. When she called to ask Jim's last name, the answer came back, Jim Baker. My jaw hit the floor, says Weiss. The first batch of files both reporters received was marked Spectra Baker emails. Baker is a controversial figure. He has been something of a zealot from FBI controversies dating back to 2016, from the Steele dossier to the Alpha server mess. He resigned in 2018 after an investigation into leaks to the press. The news that Baker was reviewing the Twitter files surprised everyone involved, to say the least. New Twitter chief Elon Musk acted quickly to exit Baker Tuesday. Reporters resumed searches through Twitter files material, a lot of it, today. The next installment of the Twitter files will appear at Barry Weiss. Leave it up there for a second. Stay tuned. So, Jim Baker. I would say the fox was in the hen house trying to steal all the eggs and get the chickens. Okay. But I call him the wolf and not a gray wolf. He's a black, dark POS. Folks, this is a real rough time we're in. I came to this conclusion a while back that things had to change in this country. We have got some new yet old protocols that are currently being followed. Let me show those to you. This is a program that we use to watch air traffic. I'm currently watching a few aircraft. It's this guy right here that really has me concerned. This, my friends, is a Boeing 747-200. It was created during the Cold War. There's 4 of them we have in the fleet. This is a hardened airplane, specifically for being able to withstand nuclear radiation, EMPs, things of this nature. This, as we speak, is DS1. You notice that it says empty call sign up there. Well, I gave it a call sign. It's DS1. And that's short for dipshit 1. Resident Biden. Flying along in our 82-8000, our beautiful bird right there. Dipshit 1. And this airplane, no call sign, is decoy 1. Everywhere that the leader of the country goes, has a decoy that goes ahead and acts as a secondary or a backup. What is new, and that hasn't been seen since the Cold War, is our friend down here who's going by Hot Rod 18 right now. This airplane is part and parcel of what's called a nuclear threat position. So if you haven't been paying attention with Ukraine, Russia, Poland, China, and everything else, NATO, dipshit 1 is inching us closer to nuclear war. So they are now deploying assets just in case the shit hits the fan while dipshit 1 is outside of the bunker. This should get every single one of you up off the couch and thinking, what if? What if dipshit 1 causes a nuclear war? We already know that the World Economic Forum, one Klaus Schwab, along with the CEO of Pfizer, along with Bill Gates, has publicly stated that the world is overpopulated. Do you think with those kinds of statements, and statements like we're on target to reduce the world's population by 50%, maybe they want something like this to occur? Just saying. Hang on. Just so you all know. Maybe I should be making that statement with that on. but it's no laughing matter. I've served this country. I've been out on the road, coming back for medical reasons and political fallout and everything else that's occurring. But I'm regearing to go back out. And you all have to be part of that. It's time to push the envelope. It's time to take the gloves off. So, as I speak, there's an election, a runoff election going on in Georgia. Herschel Walker against Warnock. What's at stake? What's at stake is our Constitution by virtue of holding the Senate or gaining the Senate. They already took it away from us in Arizona. They took it away from us with Adam Laxalt here in Washoe County, Nevada. And I predict that they're going to take it away from Georgia and Fulton County as well. Oh, sure, the exit polls are going to show that Warnock is down, trailing Walker. And then what they're going to wind up doing is going all night, because their courts have already said that the ballots could take up to 3 days to finish counting the absentee ballots. When are you going to have enough of this? We had it happen in 2020. We had it happen in 2022. We sat there and watched while Maricopa County pissed all over the residents of Maricopa County and truly the entire United States, because they took a Senate seat away from us too. They took a Senate seat away from us here in Nevada. How do you have, in these states, there's around 6 of them, have voter turnout at 107, 108% of the registered voters? It's a simple question. How do you have that? How do you have what is traditionally around a 50% to 60%, sometimes even down in the 40 odd percent registered voter turnout at general elections, is all of a sudden not just 100%, but is at 100+% of voter registration or registered voters turnout? How do you do that? You only do that by cheating. Period. End of paragraph. Stop. Full stop. It's the only way it can happen, people. So have you had enough yet? Do you know people who've had enough yet? Yeah, Devin, yeah, the DOJ is watching the vote. Let's put a wolf in the hen house and steal the eggs and kill all the chickens, why don't we? Seriously? Now, what do we want to talk about? Well, let's talk about something that seems to be something we're not supposed to talk about. The Supreme Court of the United States of America. Anything going to happen? Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I mentioned a few weeks ago this 22-380 is sitting up there as a case that's a docketed case at the Supreme Court. It has a petition. and it's now been distributed for conference. Ooh. Well, what does that mean? Because the Supreme Court document, which we look at, it was received on October 20th. Actually, it was received on the 21st. It was sent on the 20th. The 21st was a Friday, and on Monday, the 24th, they docketed this into the Supreme Court docket. And a lot of people are sitting there saying, no, this is BS. Really? Is it? A description, or excuse me, a link is in the description right now that will take you to this, and you can read it for yourself rather than me having it up on any of my sites. Just go to the Supreme Court website of the United States of America and pull it down your damn self. If you don't believe me, what does it do? Well, first and foremost, it does not in any way, shape, or form talk about fraud in 2020. No, not a bit. It doesn't say that the election was stolen. It doesn't say that you need to go and look and do forensics audits. It doesn't say anything of the kind. No, nothing. No, it simply states that 388, actually 385 members of Congress failed to look at what over 100 other members of Congress were saying that an investigation needed to be performed. Now, there's those people are out there saying, well, there's no precedence for that. And that would be incorrect. Because in 1877, there was exactly the same thing done, an investigation time frame of a 10-day cool down period so that they could see what was being questioned. It was not done in 2020. And so the individuals that brought this case to the Supreme Court, the Brunson brothers, are making the same claim that there was over 100 members of Congress that said that it needed to be investigated. So instead of pausing 10 days to look at the evidence, because a lot of the until this point, there was, I believe it was 86 different lawsuits that were across the country that were deemed lack of standing by the courts. All of them. Well, that's a way to kick that can down the road. I don't want to look at your evidence. We're not even going to hold an evidentiary hearing. Discovery? What's that? So these guys have really thrown something that it's a piece of spaghetti they threw on the wall, and guess what? I think this is sticking. It's sticking simply because it's not saying that there was anything wrong with the election. It's not saying that there was a single thing that is fraudulent or full of malfeasance. Nothing. No. It's simply saying that 388 members of the government certified an election without doing an investigation that was on the House and the Senate, which said we need to investigate some of this stuff. Just do a 10-day pause based on the Compromise of 1877 action. This is going places. This is now something to watch. Why is it something to watch? Because when this was filed, and we go back up here and we look at the top, see this date, October 24th, that by law, there has to be a response from the respondents to the certiorari petition, this writ, within 30 days. And on the 30th day, here was the response on the November 23rd timeframe. And what is this? This isn't the U.S. attorneys, my friends. This is the Solicitor General responding, saying that they're waiving their right to respond. Boom. Wham. They're not going to question. They're not going to open up a debate. They're not going to try and say that, oh, it's a bunch of hogwash, just throw it out the window and let's go on with our day, shall we? No, they're just going to say, yeah, we're not going to respond. Well, this kind of forces the hand of the Supreme Court to simply take it to a conference. And now, which has been scheduled, this conference, it's been scheduled right here. And isn't it fitting that it's scheduled for conference on the 6th of January, 2023? Okay. Well, in the conference, they only need 4 justices out of the 9 that will hear it to say that this is correct and to move it forward for arguments, for a hearing. They can do all of that. You could do that literally on the 6th as well. Well, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that the U.S. Marshals are going to go out and arrest everybody. Nope, because it doesn't say so. What it says is that the individuals that are the 388 individuals are simply going to be rendered unfit to serve in any office, local, state, or federal government. This is the equivalent of having their press passes revoked. They simply can't serve anymore, ever. So the U.S. Marshals would just be going and locking their offices and packing their bags up and saying, take a cab home, call a Lyft, an Uber. That's all this does. So that vacates a lot. That vacates all but I think 6 members of the Senate, except for those that are currently in the 22 election. That vacates 70%, 60 some odd percent of the House. So keep an eye on this. It also calls for the court to allow a lesser court the swearing in of the legal rightful heirs for president and vice president. Now, that doesn't mean Donald J. Trump. It could simply mean, since it's after the 3rd of January, that could be Kevin McCarthy. Again, put my tinfoil hat on. Just saying, there's a lot of different ways this can go. So keep an eye on that. What does that have to do with Gray Wolf? What does that have to do with what it is I'm trying to get done? Well, let me just for a moment say that all that I just talked about is pie in the sky stuff. Okay? Go with what I know. Well, what I know is that we need to end the state of emergency before we can do anything whatsoever going forward. The resident is saying that the state of emergency will go at least through April. We have several members of Congress and several within the Senate that are saying, end the state of emergency. It's not needed. Well, hell, the resident actually said a month and a half ago that the pandemic was over. So why is it that he won't end the state of emergency? Well, it's simple. He won't end the state of emergency because state of emergency funnels the money through to big pharma. It funnels all the assets through to allow the FDA, which needs to be abolished, to use emergency use authorizations for the jabs. The money that goes through on the charge masters to all those hospitals that, yes, your favorite little community hospital and all of those hospitals that make lots of big dinero for simply diagnosing COVID-19. To the vaccine mandates. Well, again, mandates, I've said this for a very, very long time. Mandates are not laws. The United States of America is run on a basis of law. Whenever a law is made, it must run through the process, legislative process. Article 1 of this right here, Article 1 of the Constitution of the United States of America, legislation. Article 2, the executive branch. Article 3, the judicial branch. That's what the United States is based on, not mandates. I don't care what the mandate is. It's not in there. It's not in a process created by that. No, it's simply put by an individual that is sitting at the head desk in a cigar smoke-filled room saying, I want this. I don't care what the hell you want. It's what we want. And what we put our legislators, our representation into Washington, D.C. to do for us. Not what you want. What we want in our constitutional republic. It's what we want. So that's that. That's exactly what we want. If you can't make law out of something, then it must not be capable of being turned into a law. But where does that leave me, you, and every single person that we bump into on the street? How do we do this? How do we break this cycle of evil? These drag queens, these perverts, these mentally disturbed people from ruining our country, our lives, poisoning our children's minds. How do we stop this? We have to show them who's bigger, who has a larger count. 335, approaching 340 million people in the United States of America. Give me 10% to make a path parade, a patriot parade across the United States. and I'll show you how we make the change. That's the case. 100% that's the case. And you're going to get people come out of the woodworks. I've been playing, I'm not playing, but I've been under this cloud since I started back in Adelanto. Of the people that come out that are obviously trying to create a distraction. They don't want us to get together. They don't want us to unite. They do not want us in the churches. They do not want us in the gathering halls. They do not want us talking or even tweeting. They don't want us to do what individuals did 240 odd years ago when they were sitting at the Green Dragon pub talking about how they were going to do what it is they needed to do to grow Patriots in Boston. They don't want it. They don't want us doing that. So I would like you folks to pass the word and help this movement. I'll be at the front of the pack, but I cannot do it alone. We need to grow an army for a parade of people. It is our last option of peaceful resolution before resolution before revolution. It's our last peaceful attempt. When they in the kill box, I'm sorry, my shoulder's hurting, but trying to bring both arms up. When they take away our ability to hold our First Amendment right above all else, they take away our ability to bring something to an end peacefully, and the only options they leave us is violence. You feel it, people. I feel it. But trust me, we need to do peaceful resolution. And we can do it if we get the numbers enough. We get the numbers up, we get people involved. You tweet it out, you share it out, you send this out, you like this. Start communicating, start organizing. If we can't organize to try and do a peaceful resolution, then how the hell are we going to organize to have a violent revolution? How are we going to do that? So let's spend the next couple of months through this winter. If something pops and we have to do it sooner, then we have to do it sooner. I may have surgery somewhere around the end of this year on the shoulder, but we'll figure out what we have to do, how we're going to do it. Let's grow this army. Let's let people know the only way we're going to do this peacefully is through numbers. People. Right now in my head, I'm thinking we'll start right here in Washoe County, Nevada, and we'll start protesting the fact that they ran down. Well, in the primaries, they actually took it away from Joey Gilbert. They took the Republican seat away from Joey Gilbert. Trust me, Lombardo is nothing but a yes man for the great big dollar elites. And you know who I'm talking about? It's initials GS. That's why they let him have the governorship of Nevada and take it away from Sisolak, is because he's already in their pocket. He's the one and only Sheriff Lombardo from Clark County who failed us 5 years ago, October 1st, 5 years ago, with the Las Vegas shooting. The one that had the three-letter agency over here whispering in his ear on stage about what to say and what not to say. That one, that was Sheriff Joe Lombardo, who's now our governor. They took it away from Madam Laxalt. So right here in Nevada, we build up, we get the protesting going. Right here. And we move over to Phoenix. And we grow. We get the people that are pissed off in Phoenix. And we grow that number even more. Come on. They had 100-mile long parade for a rally for Trump. You telling me we can't get 100,000 people out of Phoenix just come out and say, you work for us, you screwed us, and we're going to take you down? Are you telling me that can't happen? Then where do we go next? You help me. Help me decide as we move this parade of patriots eastbound towards the Devil's Nest, the swamp. Let's do that. We'll have a patriot parade. Let everybody know along the way. We'll educate our brothers, our sisters, our friends. Because once you wake up, you're not going back to sleep. How can you possibly do that? How many of you right now are having a hard time sleeping just because you just don't know where this is going? Made me sick to my stomach to see that Kardashian commercial. It makes me sick to my stomach to see these drag queens having story hour with our children. There you go. We need to bring this to a head. Quit sitting there saying someone else needs to do this. You need to do something. I've been out there since February doing something, putting it all on the line. We'll update the website here with what we're doing along the way, graywolfwalk.com. The Balenciaga, it's only a scratch on the surface. And oh, might I add that the supposed VP stepdaughter is a model for Balenciaga. Want to know why they're trying to bury that story so fast? Here's your answer. The only way that we're going to overwhelm so that Walker can get the Senate seat is if every single person gets their vote in. Every person. You get the shills, you get the, for lack of a better word, assholes that get out there and try to take a movement down. They're paid to do that, people. Trust me, they're paid to do that. Our problem is right here. Our problem is right now. Ask yourself what you're going to do. How are you going to contribute to getting our country back on track? If somebody has a better idea of how people can get involved with making the change, other than just going to the voters' booth, let me know. I think it's presence. I think that it is people so dense across the nation's highways, they can no longer ignore us. That's what we have to do. We have to become loud, take the gloves off, and go from there. All right, folks. We're trying to save America here. We save other countries along the way. That's a good thing. But we are trying to save America. So until next time, I want you to listen to the words of the song from Steve Spurgeon. Pass it around. Share, like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I'm going to say goodnight and say God bless you and God bless the United States of America.
Everybody's feeling like they gotta take a stand. Let's all stand together, and together we'll understand that we're all in the same boat, sailing along. If we wanted to be here after we're gone, seal up the cracks, keep the hull strong. Let's save America. Storms are gonna be rough as we travel across the sea. I know we're gonna make it, 'cause I got you and you got me. Now there's one thing I know right down to the letter. If we really wanna see it get better, we're gonna have to do it together. Can't you see? Let's save America. Let's save America. We gotta get back on course. If they won't listen to our voice, we'll shout it out louder. Through any kind of weather, we can make it together. Yeah. Let's save America. America. Let's save America. Save America. America. Let's save America. America. Let's save America.